Hi everybody, this is Dee at Aloha Astro, and today is the new moon in Scorpio, November 7th, and the new moon actually occurred at 11:01 a.m. Eastern Time, so I'm a little late on this, and let's just read over what I wrote for the day. New moon in Scorpio, Wednesday, November 7th, enhances intuition and may provoke strong reactions to any perceived threat as the moon forms a trine to Neptune in Pisces and a sextile to Pluto in Capricorn. Scorpio and Pluto rule the 8th house of sex, death, taxes, metaphysics, business partnerships, investments, and inheritance. Basically, anywhere you merge boundaries, share assets, or access resources that might come from places other than a basic salary. On a relationship level, personal values and commitment are 8th house issues, and two of the key lessons of 8th house Scorpio-Pluto are trust and control. No matter what house this new moon falls in your own natal chart, you may be more aware of the Scorpio influence over the next 2 weeks. Have things seemed crazy lately? Venus retrograde opposing Uranus retrograde in the final degrees of Aries, and Jupiter in the final degree of Scorpio square to Mars in Aquarius are to blame for breakups, unexpected changes, and an upswing in anxiety as life feels more unstable than usual. Ultimately, changes now are for the better because Venus, the lesser benefic, and Jupiter, the greater benefic, are in play. Use the dark of the new moon to look within to restore some peace and power to your soul and emerge better prepared for the growth and change ahead. Be truthful to yourself and trust your instincts. And this is the picture I found for today. It's an absolutely beautiful painting. It was a study done by this particular artist, Arthur Loureiro, The Spirit of the New Moon. And the energy of it seems to embody what I feel from Scorpio, that there's always this feeling of something just around the edge or hidden, or something that might be perceived as dark or threatening or frightening. And Scorpio does dig deep into what's hidden and underneath the motivations that make people do what they do or behave the way they behave. So usually during the Scorpio season, there are things that can be revealed and come to light, and I definitely think we could be experiencing some of that over the next few days as we come out of the dark of the moon and begin to see the crescent, and things may be revealed that were hidden, and it may be even some of the things that come up are things that you've been repressing or not wanting to see. Venus has been retrograding for a while, first in Scorpio and now into Libra. It turns direct on November 17th. Then we have another planet turn retrograde on the same day. We have Mercury turning retrograde on November 17th. So we're going to trade out one retrograde for another, and right now, I think with Venus retrograde, I'm seeing a lot of relationship stuff come up for people, obviously, because of Venus. Venus isn't necessarily love, but it is about attraction and desires. Neptune is the planet that has more to do with the long-term romantic feelings that lead toward family and making memories together for the long, long stretch. And Venus is more about having needs met, desires met, and sharing things in common that you enjoy with your friends, particularly on the romantic level. It is about the affections and needs and desires. So with this planet retrograding back into the relationship-oriented sign of Libra, people may be making choices as to whether they are going to remain single or be with somebody, or if relationships are breaking up. We've had the planet Uranus move retrograde out of Taurus back into Aries, and I have to say I think I like it better in Taurus, and I'll be happy when it goes direct again. This opposition here between these two planets can make people decide they want to be alone or independent, or if they've been single for a long time, maybe they're going to be looking to change that status and be with somebody. The idea or feeling of fate or destiny can come into play. With the North Node, it slipped out of Leo and back into Cancer. So there can be some very strong will involved in all of this, because these are 3 cardinal signs, and cardinal energy is very boss-like, very determined to be right, very much wants to tell other people what to do or give orders. And so we shall see what this brings about. If there are issues over something like being with somebody and they don't want to start a family and you do, then that might be some of the T-square activating decisions to break up if you can't see eye to eye on issues like family and children. And for those who are going through hard times in relationship, consider please what your fighting is doing to children if you have children. And if you're going through any breakups or divorce, think about the children and how they might be affected. Think about the extended family members and how they might be affected. And we do have a nice grand trine also involving the North Node, and it involves Jupiter at the final degree of Scorpio and Chiron at almost the final degree of Pisces. This is all overblown, very ripe and full water energy, and it feels like something is about to manifest. Something is about to be precipitating or happening, and it may be very much based on needs at this point, that something has to be taken care of or addressed, or maybe family does have to come first in some way. So that is what the grand trine is representing for us. Venus does make a trine to Mars at the moment, and this can create more of an interest in entering into physical relationships. Whenever Venus and Mars connect somehow, there's usually a desire for more physicality, whether you're doing something physical with somebody else, or you need a massage, or you're going to pamper yourself on the physical level, or maybe get into exercise and seek to improve your looks and your body. Those might be some things that come up with that trine. We definitely have a lot of Uranian Aquarian energy bopping around at the present time, and whether it's going to bring new people into your life that change your life somehow, or maybe you're the catalyst for change in other people's lives through relationship with them, or whether it's simply relationships are undergoing changes because people change, and there's change. That's the big thing with all the Uranian energy. There's change occurring. We do have a nice trine between Neptune in Pisces and the Moon and Sun. So this can help with manifesting dreams or desires, or being able to perceive through contemplation and going within what is most important to you, what is essential, what are your dreams, to reconnect with a sense of faith, to believe in something before you can see it, because that is how things manifest. You have to eliminate all the doubt of all the other alternatives and hold on to the image or the idea of that one thing that you want to have, as if you already have it, and that will help in bringing your vision forward. So it is also good for simply spending more time in solitude, in meditation, dreaming, get extra sleep, particularly over the next 2 days while we have the Scorpio energy very active. So in about 2 days' time, let's see how Friday looks. Friday we have the moon in Sagittarius. Let's see when it happens on Thursday. Okay, the moon will enter Sagittarius after 12 noon on Thursday. So we shift to something a little bit more energetic, and outward moving, rather than the digging in and hiding energy of Scorpio. We move into more outward seeking and fiery energy as we go into Thursday night and Friday. It's a good start off to the weekend. You may be able to initiate things or start things off on Friday, but since it is the close of a work week, you might want to hold off on launching your new moon plans if they are business oriented until you get into a new week next week after. Oh, and I think we have a holiday on the 12th, don't we? Veterans Day. So 3-day weekend, it might be some good fun and adventure time, and maybe some early holiday shopping time. You might find some good unusual gifts could be had, or the fun gifts. Look for the things that have to do with entertainment or fun. If you've got things that you're looking to purchase for the holidays coming up ahead. Let's see what else we've got going on. Good old Saturn and Pluto, the two tough planets there, still sticking it out in Capricorn. And that's actually not all that terrible at the moment, because they're creating a lot of favorable flow to the other planets. We are seeing a sextile there to the Sun, and we're seeing a sextile over to Neptune. So determination to see something become real, or the determination to stick to something that you've decided. If you've gone after a dream or have a plan, Pluto can help you to keep going and not give up, to basically be very determined and stubborn, and to keep a very high goal in mind. And Saturn's doing some trine and quincunx energy as well to Uranus and to the North Node. And if it is time to change, well, things are going to change. Like it or not, things are going to change. Then you have to just do the work of moving forward and creating some foundations or stability, new patterns, new structure out of the changes that are occurring. So that is what's going on. Let's take a look at the Sabian symbol for the day. And for the degree of the moon, it's at 15 degrees 11 minutes of Scorpio, so we round up to 16 degrees of Scorpio. First level actional, a girl's face breaking into a smile, the fervent reaching out on the part of the young of heart to new experiences. Faith in life and in other human beings enables us to go forth toward relationships with whatever attracts our senses or stirs our imagination. Smiling is perhaps a uniquely human characteristic because it implies a conscious acceptance of relationship, thus a choice. The animal, on the other hand, is compelled by unconscious instinct, at least in its natural state. It is not free to choose between love and hate. This is the first symbol of the 46th fivefold sequence. It introduces us to a series of responses to human experience and pictures a glowing warmth of feeling. Well, being a pet owner and seeing a cat smile when they want to smile, I don't believe that, and I've seen a lot of animosity between animals that are choosing to to not like each other. So I don't know if I agree fully with this statement, but I get it on the basic level. I also read something interesting. I think it was Jack Purcell who channels an entity or a being called Lazarus, and it was an article about animals and how our interaction with them actually raises their consciousness. So I think it works like anything else energetically. When we're in a higher state of being and coming from higher emotions rather than the negative emotions, we always entrain with others, and if we provide something higher, then people or animals are going to seek to raise up or go away, basically, if there's no alignment or if they're not willing to come up to a higher level. And so breaking into a smile sounds like a really good thing, and I hope we can all be smiling after this new moon. I hope that or I intend, I should say intend, because hope is kind of a limbo state. It's not an actual energetic making something happen. So I intend that we're all smiling more as we manifest something that we are picturing right now as we go into the dark of the new moon. And I invite you to visit my site, sign up for my newsletter, get a reading. I'd love to work with you and help you to understand your natal chart. And I will see you all again at the next lunation when we approach the full moon in about 2 weeks' time.